Hey comic book and rock and roll fans. Today I'm going to look at the history of the Fab Four in the pages of comic books.
Before we begin, I want to remind you that if you love comics and pop culture as much as I do, you'll subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to stay informed of upcoming videos. Please share this video, as that will help me gain subscribers as well. I also have my own franchises, Adolescent Radioactive Samurai Platypi and Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter. The latter has been picked up by Cutthroat Comics. Check the links below for more details and the link to Dracula Rising, which is available on Amazon. And now,
on with the show, this is it.
Welcome to another show. I'm Andrew in for Kevin Gibbon, and, continuing our trend of rock stars featured in comic books, we're going to look at the Beatles as they appeared in the pages of comic books. In 1968, a comic book based on the movie Yellow Submarine was made. It was published by Gold Key Comics. It doesn't quite follow the storyline of the whole movie. It has seas that are not in the movie, such as the Sea of Consumer Products, the Sea of Cinema. The Sea of Time looked different. The Sea of Holes looked almost the same. It has songs that are not in the movie, such as Lovely Rita, Getting Better, from the Pepper album. Mary Had a Little Lamb is not a Beatles song, but it was sung to distract the Blue Meanies. Marvel Comics Super Special Volume 1, Number 4, Stan Lee Presents The Beatles Story. This is a straightforward documentary-style comic book which recounts the history of the lads from Liverpool. It is one of the earliest depictions of the band in the pages of comic books. The Heart of Babies in Black is a love story. The fifth Beatle, Stuart Sutcliffe, falls in love with the beautiful Astrid Kircher when she recruits the Beatles for a sensational and famous photography session during their time in Hamburg. When the band returns to the UK, Sutcliffe quits, becomes engaged to Kircher, and stays in Hamburg. A year later, his meteoric career as a modern artist is cut short when he dies unexpectedly. From Nicola Mansfield. I knew about Pete Best and was vaguely aware of there being a friend of John's in the group at the beginning, but had no idea of the Stuart Sutcliffe story. This was an interesting tidbit for me to add to my Beatles trivia. The story is bittersweet, sad, and lovely all at the same time. Stuart seems to have been a very nice guy. The Beatles may have been quite a different group if Stuart hadn't decided to follow his dream to be a painter, but then time was against him from the start, and we will never know what he may have accomplished. Tomorrow Never Knows is a song by the English rock band The Beatles. It is also a comic book, written primarily by John Lennon and credited to Lennon-McCartney. It was released in August 1966 as the final track on their album Revolver, although it was the first song recorded for the LP. The song marked a radical departure for the Beatles, as the band fully embraced the potential of the recording studio without consideration for reproducing the results in concert. When writing the song, Lennon drew inspiration from his experiences with the hallucinogenic drug LSD and from the 1964 book The Psychedelic Experience, a manual based on the Tibetan Book of the Dead by Timothy Leary, Richard Alpert, and Ralph Metzner. Jeff from Goodreads says, "It's an okay read, but nothing I didn't already know, and it schemes through the Beatles' history too quickly." Beatles in Comic Strips is a collection of some 200 cartoon strips dedicated to the Beatles, many of which are extremely rare and now inaccessible. 40 years after their breakup, the Beatles remain the biggest phenomenon of music and mass culture in the world of entertainment. The book for the first time investigates and documents the interest that cartoonists, publishers, and enthusiasts have shown in their special relationship with the universe of comic strips, a rich and variegated relationship with thousands of publications in every part of the world, and a production that continues to the present day. In some stories, the Beatles are the protagonists, in others, they make cameo appearances, while others feature their lyrics transformed into comic strips. Published on the 50th anniversary of the Fab Four's first single, Love Me Do, the book celebrates the band with a festive, fun, and original product, conveying a dimension that does not age, transmitting the legend that endures through the years and changing fashions. Beatles with an A, Birth of a Band, is the riotous tale of the first hesitant steps of the world's most famous band, as only legendary rock cartoonist Maury Kunis could tell them. Hilarious moments and details that even dedicated fans won't remember having heard before are all told with Kunis's characteristically raucous humor and virtuosic drawing skills. The riotous tale of the first hesitant steps of the world's most famous band. From Rocking Horse to the recording studio in Abbey Road, where the first singles were laid down. It is a story told thousands of times over, but never in quite such a wacky screwball manner. The Beatles Experience. Over 200 pages, dramatizing one of the most compelling, Tales in pop culture history, drawn from thousands of photos and interviews, meticulously researched and featuring stunning art by Mike Sagara. Covering the Beatles' Superscript 1 lives from birth and beyond their breakup, dramatized in dialogue and scene recreations more akin to a film bio than a mere documentary. The Beatles' experience also includes a chronologic timeline going down each page, with encyclopedia background and footnotes, detailing related events happening at the same time in the world, in music, and in the Beatles' Superscript 1 own tumultuous and extraordinary lives. Hervé Boris, creator of the Little Book of Rock, turns his unique graphic talents to the legend of the Beatles, told from the very beginning. Boris' visual imagination illuminates the individual lives of each band member from their pre-Beatles youth to what would become a rock band of phenomenal worldwide fame. All of the epic details of their story are vividly evoked: the triumphs, the quarrels, the supreme musical creativity, and of course the inevitable breakup. Tidal Wave Comics is proud to announce the addition of the Beatles to its popular Orbit biography comic book series focused on personalities who impact the world. Written by Carlos Pagola Morales, Mark Shapiro, Richard Elms, David Cromartie, and illustrated by Angel Bernoulli, Luciano Cars, Orlando Morrow, Victor Mora, this 96-page comic book is available both digitally and in print and can be found on multiple platforms such as Amazon. Pendulum Comics released a biographic novel in 1979 about the Beatles with the focus on John Lennon. John Winston Ono Lennon, born John Winston Lennon, October 9, 1940 to December 8, 1980, was an English singer, songwriter, musician, and peace activist who achieved worldwide fame as the founder, co-songwriter, co-lead vocalist, and rhythm guitarist of the Beatles. Lennon was characterized by the rebellious nature and acerbic wit in his music, writing and drawings, on film, and in interviews. His songwriting partnership with Paul McCartney remains the most successful in history. The Beatles had many one-shot appearances in the pages of Charlton, Romance, DC, My Little Margie, and Archie comics, just to name a few. Gold Key also published a comic book based on the Beatles cartoon. The Beatles was an American animated television series featuring the fanciful and musical misadventures of the popular British rock band of the same name. It ran from 1965 to 1969 on ABC in the USA. Only 1965 to 1967 was first run, later transmissions were reruns. The series debuted on September 25, 1965 and ended on September 7, 1969. A total of 39 episodes were produced. That was a quick look at the Beatles in the pages of comic books. What did you think? Do you have a favorite Beatles comic book? Did we miss any Beatles comics that you know of? Did you know the Fab Four appeared in so many comics? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like my show, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications. Until next time, this is Andrew in for Kevin Given saying live long and prosper, may the force be with you and keep reaching for the stars.